Grand Rising. We're going to start with some channeled writing, and then we'll go into the cards and see what they have to say. Finding a balance. We've spoken about needing to find balance between the spiritual and mundane. You are here to experience Earth and humanity. For each person, that will look different. Some have more work to do in the spiritual, some are a bridge for those learning, and some won't be connected to the spiritual at all. If you are one that struggles with strict routines, that is for a reason, likely because you are supposed to follow Source's lead. That can look very different from day to day. It is also why we call you to heal and know self. Following intuitive guidance will likely not be received by others in a positive light. They may see you as irresponsible because they don't see the world or have the connection you do. When you truly know you, their opinions and words will roll off your back. You can see a picture they can't. Don't try to force them. Whether they stay in your life is completely up to you. Just be mindful of where you put your energy. You were created for a reason. You are perfectly imperfect and perfect for the purpose you were created for. Look into your North Node if you are having trouble finding your purpose or feeling lost. So let's see what else Source would like to add to that message. All right, Source, that was pretty clear. Okay. That was pretty clear. What else would you like to add to it? What would you like to add to the message, Source? Okay, dry desert in reverse. You have made it through. You've made it through all the details and through the dry desert. Oh, this one. Okay. You have tapped into your sacred pool, which is Source, connecting to Source. And you are aware of your surroundings. You are aware of you. You are aware of the things that are going on. These are all amazing, amazing things that take a lot of work to get to, okay? Okay, this is looks like the only card that's in there in reverse, and that is power. You have gained your personal power. And let's go to part 2. You've gained your personal power, something that I'm hearing you've never had. You at 9:22 on the clock and 66%, you've lived your entire life in a place of feeling powerless, in a place of chasing others to feel like you had any say in anything. You are coming from a place where all of your power, all of your worth resided in who was around you. So when those things were gone, when those people were gone, you went back to having no power. You went back to having no worth. Those days are gone. You've seen all of the details. You don't need to look through the details anymore. You know who you are now. You're not in this dry desert anymore. You've walked through it, so much so that you've gained your power back. Something, like I said, that you probably haven't had since you were a small child. And if you grew up in a house with child abuse, you probably didn't feel like you had it then either, even though you did. April Fool's Liars came out on top of Dry Desert. People wanted you to believe that you didn't have any power. People wanted you to believe that you weren't going to amount to anything. They're liars. They did that because they knew you were going to amount to things, okay? They knew the power that you had inside of you. I want you to do me a favor. If you have baby pictures, I want you to go back and look at those baby pictures and pay attention to the people that are looking at you in those pictures. Pay attention to how they're looking at you. That will show you that they knew, even as a baby, who and what you were. That's why There was so many lies. That's why there was so much abuse and manipulation. They knew what you were going to be, and they were not willing to put in the work to be healthy. If they would not have shut you down, you would have exposed them really early on. Group of females plotting fell right on top of April Fool's liars. They're going to be exposed, okay? If they're not already. Don't worry about those people. They know that you're not walking in that desert anymore, and they are jealous because a lot of them are still in that desert because they're refusing to put the work into themselves. Hold on just a second. Increased protection came up in the upright, so make sure that you are staying on top of your spiritual hygiene. Create new, if you've had the same protection routine, if you've had the same protection types, switch those up. Bring in some new stuff because they've found a way through. Go to the next. Source in the writing mentioned there's 3 kind of sects of people. People that are not going to connect spiritually. Those are typically the ops. Those are typically the people that are going to try to tear you down because what you're doing makes 0 sense to them. And if they are part of religion, then they are likely afraid of what you are doing because they've been taught that it's evil. They've been taught to fear it. Set them aside. That's typically these people, okay? There are some that are tapped in that were supposed to be guides, but they got tangled up in having power. They got tangled up in the darker side of what power brings. And instead of truly healing self, they got a hold of that power, and now they're funneling everything through trauma lenses. Trauma lenses will cause us to hurt others even when we're not trying to, and when you get down that road far enough, all bets are off. When you make certain deals, all bets are off. Some people that were spiritually inclined, they are nothing but an open vessel for denser energy now. So the majority of their days are spent hurting and hurting others because of the lens that they're seeing everything through. They're seeing everything through their trauma. All right? They have some jealousy that you were able to do what nobody thought you were able to do. And that's why they're plotting. They're not going to be successful. If you stay on your path, they can't reach you. What else do we have to add to this source? The less focus that you give them, the more focused you stay on your path. You can also ask Source in your team to remove, to remove people like this that are plotting and planning. Remove them away from your awareness. Only give you the information about them that is pertinent to you for you to change protection, for you to be more aware of your physical surroundings, that type of thing. Otherwise, ask Source to remove them from your awareness. That way you won't be hearing from them. You won't be seeing their posts. You won't be getting any of the sort, okay? If you made a choice recently that you're questioning, you made the right choice. Sometimes we have to walk away from people. Sometimes people have to learn on their own. Just kind of like you did. Was somebody holding your hand through the stuff? Or did you spend a lot of nights crying by yourself, figuring it out by yourself? Sometimes there's parts of this journey that we have to walk alone. All right. There is a chunk of healing that needs to be done alone. And most people don't want to do that part alone, okay? So if you're stuck worrying about these plotting and planning people, gain a higher perspective. Realize that the reason that they are coming up against you at 929 is because they see your power, they're intimidated by you, possibly envious of you, of the work that you've put in, and they're looking for an easy way to bypass the work. If they can tear you down, if they can bring you down from where you're at back to where they're at, back to where you used to be, then they get to sit and feel like, see, they weren't really doing that work. See, they weren't really healing. They're fake just like I am. So gain a higher perspective on these people that are plotting and planning if they're still in your awareness. And I can tell you from experience, if you ask Source to remove them from your awareness, that will happen. You will only hear about them when it is absolutely necessary, okay? State that every morning when you wake up. State that every night before you go to sleep. And anytime that they come into your awareness, state it. Say, Source, please remove them at 1, 2, 3 on the timer. Please remove them from my awareness. They're disrupting my focus on what I'm supposed to be doing. And I guarantee you, Source, your team will step in so that you can continue doing what you're supposed to be doing, okay? Repeating cycles don't change. People can, but the cycle will not change, meaning they will be different. If these people that have old cycles with you, if you choose to allow them back in, they will operate completely different. Their energy will be different. The way they talk, the way they behave, everything will be different about them. If it's not, if there's anything that is the same, they are the same in the same cycle, okay? And I'm not your ex. I'd never hurt you like that. Okay, so they're switching over. It looks like somebody who is not your ex that you may have cut out, they may actually be doing some healing. So if they didn't destroy your character or try to, if they didn't try to destroy your money or your reputation, your relationships, then hear them out. If they tried to destroy you in any capacity, that's a risk, a big one, okay? Whoop, whoop. All right, we're probably going to go into another one. Let's see. There's gossip around this true love's kiss. It is not just sexual energy. They truly have love for you. There's going to be upcoming... this true love's kiss, there's gossip about it. So either they're talking about you or they've been caught looking at your stuff. It is true love's kiss though. All right. And this is not just adult energy. Adult energy came in reverse, meaning, yeah, they're probably attracted to you in an adult way, but they are not only about that adult attraction. Okay. And upcoming travel, they may be sending for you, or they may be flying to, they're going to be flying to you. So expect somebody at your door. No time frame. Expect a visitor. Only healing on the surface came in the in-between, so they are not only healing on the surface, they are really looking within themselves, okay? And stop doubting yourself. You've been feeling not only this group, but you've also been feeling this person that's wanting to come in, that's trying to come in at 9:33 on the clock. Stop doubting yourself. Don't focus on this. Stay focused on where you're going, not on this, but stop doubting it when you get those intuitive hits, okay? If you're getting the intuitive hits towards these people, but it's not making sense, it's because there's some information that you don't have yet that this person is likely going to bring in. There's no harm in listening to people as long as you can stay connected to your intuition and you can stay centered in your boundaries and centered in what you know, okay? If they come in with some information that you didn't know before that could possibly change things, do some research, okay? And I don't mean go scouring the internet and asking other people, because other people can screw things up. I mean sit down with quiet and with Source and your team and find out if this information is true and what to do next. Source will never mislead you. Source may lead you into a lesson if you have not learned the lesson, but Source will never mislead you. Leave your exes in the past. Source wants me to talk about leading into lessons. I asked before a trip last year if these people were for me at 234 on the timer and if I should go on this trip. And the confirmations that I got after were a straight on yes. Upon getting back and realizing all of the douchebaggery that was afoot, I sat down and asked Source, why would you say go if this was what was going to happen? I hadn't learned the lessons that I learned during that trip. That's why I had to go. Okay, this was a longer reading. This, now I am being called to tie in the cards with the channeled writing. The reason that Source is needing you to find your balance in living in both worlds is because that is how you're going to get out of dealing with the people that are plotting against you, and that's how you're not going to that's how you stay not getting trapped in these two situations that are going on. Okay, if you stay in one or the other too much and you don't balance based off of your north node, if you don't balance based off of what you're guided to be doing, you're going to fall into these traps. You're going to get sidetracked with who's plotting. You're going to get sidetracked with who's trying to come in. And when you do that, not only do you push away the stuff that is meant for you, you push away your abundance in all forms, but you also pull in more of plotting and planning. Okay, you pull in more of a lack, not only mentality, but a lack energy, because you're focusing on things that are not meant to be focused on. Source gives us this information because as part of balancing, we need to be prepared. Source doesn't want true love's kiss knocking at your door, and like I said in a previous video, you've got a sink full of dishes and now you're thrown off because, oh no, I'm not on my top of my game because dishes in the sink make me really anxious. Dishes in the sink make me feel not my best self. Just using that as an example. Dishes in the sink don't bother me. When you tie in and you find a balance between living your human life and doing your spiritual job, then these things will affect you less. You will find more trust, more faith in Source, in your team, in yourself. Okay? You will be able to trust that no matter what's coming at you, you're going to be able to handle it because you're balanced. You're not too much in your head. You're not too much in the home and ignoring your intuition and ignoring your gifts and what you're supposed to be doing there. Okay, this information, this reading is primarily for my people who have spiritual work and who are guides, because the people that are going to be coming to you, they're going to pull at your energy and they're not going to be trying to do it, but they need help because you're a guide. You're doing your spiritual work. And the way that you find the even kill is by balancing both worlds. I hope this helped. Happy healing.